Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today in this tutorials, we'll just explaining the basics of the C program. So to the first topic, like overview of C and language and story. So now let's get started. So first of all, now let's get first of all now understanding for what you see programming language. First of all, C is a general purpose, high level procedural programming language that was developed in the earliest 19th, 17th centuries. It is known for the efficiency, profitability, and the ability to directly manipulate hardware resource. To C has influenced many other programming languages such as the C++, Java, and the Python. They continue to be used extensively in system programming and various systems and applications developments. And now here is also explained for the some key features of the program, like include, and the first one here is a simple and if sometime first sentence. So C program has a relatively simple sentence. Provide is powerful capabilities for system level programming and the procedural programming. C support a procedural programming paradigm use means program are structured around procedure or functions that execute a specific task. And another feature is a now level access. So C programming is a provide a low level access to memthro pointers, making it a searchable for tasks such as operating systems and embedded system development. And the next one here is the portability. Program written in C can be easily ported to different platform with the minimal modifications, making it a highly versatile. And now here is understanding the story of C programming language. First of all, the early development for 1960 centuries, the foundations of can C can be tracked back to BBB programming language, which was developed in 1969 by Ken Thompson at the BL Labs. BL was derived from an earlier language called the BCPL means the B combined programming language and the B language had a limitation, especially in the terms of data handling, which led to the development of a new language like the C the programming language. So then another story for the E and the C series. In 1970 centuries to 1980 centuries as a SEA program was used to develop units. It gained popularity in the academic and the software development communities. We ported to many different machines thanks to SES portability, which leads to the widespread adoptions of both C and the units. Another of the standardizations of SEA, like 1980s centuries by the 80s, it was widely used, but there was a need for a standard. These versions in 1983, the American National Standards Institutes (ANSI) from a committees in the committee to standardize the C language, which resulted in the publications of the A and the SIC standard, also known as a C9E 1989, and then now C99 and the C11. The language was further updated, which the C99 standard released in 1999 centuries, which introduced for the several features such as line functions, variable length areas, and the new data types. C11 released in 2011 included like additional features and like multi-threading support and improving code handling. Okay, so today just properly explain for in this and all. This is a state and C programming language for some key feature and the most important for this story of C language. And I hope you clearly understanding this topics. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new virtuals topic. So today's topic like a setting of the development environment of a C programming language. So today here post and download for the code block. It's a popular open source IDE for C and the C++ programming. So in this code block is in this IDE mainly used for C and the C++ developments, and it includes a compiler if you download the MinGW set of versions. So first of all, open in this Google for this Chrome, and now here it's search for is a code block. So just to download, okay, and you can see here is open the another new this space, and here you can see the robot URLs for the htgpcodeblocks.org download. So just here is a click on this downloads, and here you can see this code block. So for this release this version, so post here is this is a nightly and then source code, and also so here just is download for the binary release and this one. Okay, so it's easy. Okay, to so just click on and here is open this another new this space, and you can see here is the setup platforms your Windows, Linux and the Mac voice. Okay, so now here just scroll down, so you can see this is a Microsoft Windows. So now here you can see in this the line for code block. Okay, so now just click on this source this .NET, and okay, so now here and just wait, and you can see here another new page open, and then starting for in this downloaded process. Okay, so now you can see here just where and completely starting for this. So here my computer native setup in for, so now here I'm already installed for this code blocks. So just going here and then wait for you can see, and so now just open for this in this folders and now properly install this code blocks. Okay, so but now here you can see is already is download for this code blocks 20.03 means there's W. So just click on this show this folders and open folder and this in this folder, and now just double click. Okay, so here just read and now what is properly starting this process. So do you want to allow this app from an unknown this? So now here just click on yes. Okay, so now just wait here and see the starting part in this downloading in this process. Okay, so now just you this message for welcome to code block setup. So now just click next and continue. So click on next in this conditions, so just default, and now just click on in this I agrees. Okay, so here is also this choose this component, so here is all this select and again click for this next button, and here in this this in this code blocks locations C drive and this inside flying set, so just you can change for this locations and click on this browser and select for this in this so now just click and down like and install. So now here is starting for in this process, so now just wait here and the few seconds and properly use and okay, so now just wait for here the few second. Okay, so you can see here is So you can see here is a completely installed for this. So now do you want to read and this block? So now also click for, and yes, and here is a click on for the next, and just is perfectly open in this code blocks. So now first of all here just wait, and here is a complete install for this main GW. So here is a detectives, and I'll just click on for this. Okay, so and also click for in this next, and then click for in this finish, and here is now almost just click on this. Okay, so now you can see here the properly open in this code blocks. Okay, so now here in this is creating for the new program. So first of all click on this files, and then let's choose for in this new project, and also you can see just click for, so in this console, so the console applications, and just click on let go. And now skip this, so click on this next and choose for the C programs language, and also click on this next and the project name for so hello, and in this inside is choose for the folder name. So you can see just I'm going for in this the D drive, and here is the choose for the work folders, and also choose for the C programs and select for this folder. Okay, so now here in this profile you can see the D drive filter inside creating this another C program folder. Okay, and now click on for this next, and also you can stand for this. So now so here I'm using for this default GNU-G compiler. Okay, so here in this all and this default, so now click on this finished, and so you can see here is open for another new workspace like a hello in this source inside. Just click on here in this main C, and here is already creating for in this programs. Okay, so here in this the seat, and the writing and running the C program in the code blocks. So you can see here is a classic example, and now just save this all in this code, and you can see here like click on this build, and then here is a click on. So now just click on this run, and here you can see the properly built zero error, and now you can see here the click on this run icon, just see here the output perfectly print for hello world. Okay, so now here is a properly working for in this studio, and I hope you properly set up for your computer in code blocks, and it's creating for the basics and the classics example for the hello world. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorials on writing and writing your first C program. So C is a powerful and widely used programming language, and today discover the basics and the different examples to help you and get started. So by the end of this tutorials you will know how to write, compile and execute program to step by step. Okay, so first of all here just creating the basic class examples like hellos. Okay, so you can see here this is a basic structure of C program. So first of all here the hash include stdios is the header file, and also input and output functions like print, and you can see here in this the integer is a mean. This is the main functions where executions bring, and now in this the inside is generated for the functions apply is printed. This inside is generated this classic example like hello. Okay, so today here is creating this hard worlds and must be declared here the semicolons. So this print text in the console. Okay, and in here it must have including here the return zeros. Okay, so here to today you can see here the region 0. This indicates a successful program like executions. Okay, so here in this the save this all this code, and you can see here is the build icons and the run icons, and here is the both build and the run. The previous tool just using for the build runs, and now I'm just using this both this icon field and the run. So just click on it, and here is a perfectly show like a hello world. Okay, so I have understanding in this output, so you can try. Here is a different type of examples and using for the user input example. Okay. So now here is remove for in this code. Okay, so first of all here insert it like in achieve which is a type. So now you can see here the double master is printed. So just ring again back in here first using this hello world. So now you're using for another line of printer, and you can see here you must be defined for the new lines. Okay, so now here using this is the C programming. Okay, so here you can see here the so you can see correctly using for another new line of code. So now just save again, and you can see just click on and here and just see open these browsers and pro sorry the console, and here the printing hello world, and secondly print for C programming language is completely done, and it's remove this. So today here is creating for the different type of example like taking user input. So first inside including interior type of each, and here then using here for here like this the printed, and here enter the input. So now just I here's enter your age. Okay, and then generated for the like this is scan a the scan a, and now integer type for in this is age. So now define for this modules d, and used for the end operators, and this age variables. Okay, so now you're using this another print this inside you stack this message. So you are on the module d like here so old, and including okay, so here including this like this new line calling this variable like this age. So you can see here these examples possible. So this is integers age declare, and in this user variables, and the scan it is for module this, and this stack user input, and here using this another print function is the print the input values. Okay, so now just save this code and correctly and click on this build and run icon. So here's creating for the most declare the same is okay. So all this okay, so now just going and try and just click on, and now it's working. So enter US for 25, press for enter, and you can see the mass for years. So you are at 25 years old. So you can see here it's properly show that put in the terminal. So now in this hitting the studios is to properly learn how to create simple hello world program, and then just tell how to use your input. Okay, so thanks for your watching, and see you in the next tutorials. Okay, hello coders, and welcome back to today's another new tutorials on the syntax and the structure of the C program. So now you are new to C. Understanding it is a structure is essential to today's covered the fundamental syntax with the same example. So the C program follow a simple restrict structure, including Hager immune functions and statement. So now let's dive in. So to the first topic, basic structure of a C program. Okay, so now it can see first of all here open the new file for main .c program. C for the extensions. Here first of all open this hashtags and including scene include, and here is type like the SDDIOH. So okay, so this is the header file, and now here is open for interior type of main functions, and feeding this the first bracket and using the second bracket it's the main functions. Okay, and in this inside just print for the output statement. And this inside is type for the sample masters like welcome the programming. Okay, so you can see here, you can see here it is correctly type the C programming. Okay, and now you can see here this two it must be defined. So here is correctly type with this programming, so the RA. Okay, so and is correct. And then lastly using the return statement like 0, this is the return statement. So you can see this example first in this line and include the standard input library, and here is the main functions where executions, and start the step for, and welcome to the C programming console. And last using this the reason 0, it indicates the followings, and understanding the basic of syntax and the structure of programming. So now just the code is correctly then on here is and around the button. So so now to see programming. So I hope you provide understanding the output. So in this and here is another portal. So in this, in the C program for common site in this, and the C program. So you can try, here is another portal, the syntax for important like C program for common site. Okay, so here in the C programming side is using the two comments, the line on the single line comment, the second multi-line comment. Okay, so now just try it. So first of all here apply for the is single comment. Okay, so now here you can see is write the sample of program. So you can see here, so here's the type for another message for hello step program, and here now I started for the comment. First slash is a double, and so there is a then single line comment, okay, so okay, so add this comment, and now just accept again, and perfectly print output part and hello. Say you can see here in this comment is not a effect program output expressions. So you can see here is different. So now using for this for slash, and this is just common. So here so multi-line comment. So in here, and so multi-line comment. Okay, so now here currently at this comment and then closing. Okay, so here is the multi-line this comment, and and again save, and click on and run icon, and see here is perfectly print output for all the programming. Okay, so here you can see is the currently print. You can see also the syntax for the C programming for care sensitive. So you can see and the C and the main things of the C programming must okay. So I hope you understand these things and the working the C programming and which syntax the C programming and the coding structure. Okay, so profile understanding the student tutorial. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and see you in the next C programming tutorials. Okay. Hi everyone and welcome back to today's another new tutorials on variables and data types in C programming. So variables is a store values and the data types define what kind of data can be stored it. Understanding this concept is rating efficiency, like say programs. So in programs, the basic data types, including interior, plot, and characters, and the double. So to the first example, just declaring and initializing variables. Okay, so to the first here, the common variables use the first using integers type of age that declare the age is 25. This is an integer variables. Secondly, using the float for the by values 3.14, it's float variables. And the third using is the characters, it's the grade is equal to, so now generated is a grade API. So now here is the character variables and now here apply is printed and the site generated and the like this first one age and variable age modules d and the new line and declare the variable of age. Okay, so today here you can see post including integer like age of 25 store any ISR values in the float by store decimal values and the character where store a single character. Okay, so you can see just to save this code and just click on this one icons and just see here is a properly print for this age is 25. So this is the ancestors variables and then here just paste for 3 test going here and then copy in this line of code test for. So the test for, so again change this variable. So now here is using this pi value, so now including in this pi and the third using here the grade. So using this grade and again including here this grade. Okay, so here is correctly is using this. So now just save this code and now is click on here the bean and run icons and just see here. So you can see here is printing for the pi value is so you can see just going here and then exchange for in this the pi first using this is and the pi values. So now here remove this t is the floating point. So now apply here 0.2f and the new lines and declare here the grade is a character type. So now using and save this again and click on this run and just see here the perfectly print the output. So first the print the pi 3.14 and the grade for a. Okay, so you can see here the 0.2a is a print plot with the 2 decimal places and the module sees print a character. Okay, so I hope you understanding is it common these variables. So you can see here is applied for using different data types together. So first using here, then t types as a is equals to 5 and the b variables is equals to, okay, and then here is type 4. You can see the float, the variables name is it results, and in here then this is the type, the results is equal in this inside apply, and here is a floating for a divide of b. In this line type pressing to plot, so now here using is the print functions, and in this inside the type, so the result, or in this the divisions and the modules 0.2a. Okay, okay, and declare here the new lines and including like this results. Okay, so here is a 2 using for this variables, and now you can see post in this slide for int there is equal 5, b is equal to, this is a 2 interval variables, and you can see the results equal plot a divide of b. This is a type string, convert a to plot and ensuring correct the result. And here, so now is screening for the screen functions, for the screen functions is properly declared the variable of, and I'll just save this and code on, click on this one icons and just see here, so where you started this cutting is a 5 divided 2 and the result is print for, here is a 2.5 is state for the 2.242 is instead of 2.50. So okay, so can I help understanding here the result of division for 2.50, and I hope you clear understanding in the, so today is properly defined as variables and the data types. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay, hello coders and welcome back to today's another new tutorials on input and output operations in C programming. So in C programming, printer is used to display output, while scanning this used to take input and from the user. So today here is a working for the topic, so just add this topic here, first add this comment and then test the input and the output operations using print and then scan it. Okay, so now so here is this, in this scan it is used to take input from the user. So today discover is a printing test and the number using printer and the user in this code using this candidate. So first using this is print to display the output show. So first is direct open, here is a print tab and this inside tag this message like a hello, so hello the programming. Okay, so is this tab the C programming? So okay, so it is tab of the C programming, and directly using this correctly, and I'll just save this code and click on this one icon, and just to see here is a perfectly print output for hello C programming, and here is using for the multi-line print. So again, and here is declare the message, so the value of y is appropriately, so adjust the, just type for proxy mainly, and using the module 0.2a and the new line, and clear here is 3.14159. okay, and then using for another point print f, and here is type that integer type that is in this integer, so and the modules declare here and this character. So character type is modules and define the new line supposed including integer of 10 and define the character of E. Okay, so here in this example, the first print for in this line, this is a PRIS only string, and here is a 0.2f. This is a format pointers of flow to into to decimal phase, and you can see here it's using the first generating here. You can see the module D. So here you can see the module D is printed and integer, and the modules is a printed character, and you can see here is also defined for the new lines, and in this is a move a new line. So just save this code again and click on this run icon and just see here the output. So first here is a printing the values, the pi is appropriately 3.14 into the things and the character of E. So here is a perfectly working this. So the next topic is a completely D printer, and the next topic for is the scan F. So now to the working like scan it. So first of all here is a typing T type of H. Secondly, use for another one floating point data points of the variables, the salary. Okay, and first of all here using here the printed and including the message. So ensure your age. Okay, and in using here the correctly like scan it, and here is printing the module D and define for this page. Okay, so now you can see here the correctly apply, and now just save, and best of is can if module D and his H is read and interiors. Okay, so save this code and click on this one icon, and here is for the 23, and you can see here is the feedback message. So now here is not generated for another printer. Use. So now again back, and again back is copy this code, and in this another step for interior your salary, and the salary is floating, and this move and add the salary. Okay, and using for another apply this print this inside this print this message. So your age is module D. So salaries modules and new line, and declare for the age, and also okay salary. Okay, so here it can see if the scan if module A, and the salary is reads a plot, and also using here in this sign address of operator is stored there, input values in the variables. Okay, so here receive this code again, and just click on here and the run icon, and just see here the output positions for enter your IS is 428, and enter your salary for 40,000, or sorry, just here using for 30,000, and then press for the inches. You can see your age is 28. and your salary is it 30,000. Okay, so I hope you understanding in this example, and here is properly working for this the topic like printed, and this is scanf using for the C programming language. Okay, so now just thank you for watching, and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we'll just explore the C programming, the main concept of the mathematical expressions like arrays, relational, logical, and the B2S operators are in this four essential star type of operators in the C programming language. And as we break down them and creating the simple example to you understand their users. So first of all, the topic like arithmetic. So here arithmetic operators perform mathematical calculations like additions, subtractions, multiplications, and divisions. So now let's at the simple example. So today first of all, here is generated the variables into the a is equal to the value 10, and b is equal the value of, so now here using the value of 30. Okay, and scoring the next item system, and here using like in this print. So today first of all, here is a printing the additional results. So first using this is a parenthesis, and in the double quotations inside and here in the interiors is equal 10, and is equal to 30, and it's inch there. So now including here is a module. First insert the module d, and here defined defined new lines. Okay, so now creating the expressions for an additional separator for the b variables. Okay, so now you can see here first using the 30, and then b is equal then. Okay, so now you can see here correctly apply this, and I will just step this code, see the output. So as you can see here, just click on this build and the run icon. So now just wait here and see the output, the total result of 40. Okay, so and I hope you understand, and now in this line, in this process, just follow and copy paste for the next line and change for this operator. So now just copy in this code first working here, that's additional values, and secondly using the subtractions tag and use multiplications. Fourth, use the divisions, and the 50 user reminder or the module. So now just change. So first using additions, subtractions, and in using multiplications, using like divisions, and then here you the slide the reminder. Okay, so you can see here is correctly applied this, and this in this examples, additionals, subtractions, multiplications, and the reminder sign, and you can see here is a 30 years divide, and the result in printed the 3 or this device, and division trans decimal this part. So now just save this code and see the output. So here click on this one icon and just see here the post of all this printing additions for 40 subtractions, 20 multiplications, 3300 d zone 3, and the reminder it does print is 0. Okay, so I hope you clear understanding is called the arithmetic operators. Okay, so the next topic for here is a relational operators. So today here indeed the relational operators compare two values, and the return to for 1 and the false for 0. So now let's see in this actual. So to them, first of all including integer type of variables with the value, the variables of 5 and x, and the value for 5 and the y is equal to a. Okay, and then here is apply the print a, and this inside for the expressions the x and is equal for y. This is the, so now here apply is the module D, and now creating this proper expressions, just call here, so x equal to y. Okay, so here the simple this program generated correctly, and just save and see the output. As you can see here, the x is y equal to, is it 0? This means for x value and y value is not equal. Okay, and then you can see here in this line, this code is copy because it is same for the next line. Okay, so first copy in this code and then test for the 3 line. Okay, so now just change, so first using the x equal to y, and then now using x not equal to y. Okay, and the third is a step here using the less than greater than sign, the first using the x greater than y, and again using like x greater than y, and here is apply for x less than y, and then again, so and then again using this less y. Okay, so here you can see first this expression is for equal quality, this is not a quality, and in check for less greater than equal, less than equal is compared the values. So since here is the x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10, and so here is a condition for x is less than y, and 10 for 1 xy is equal to y is written for this 0. So now verify, so just first save, click, and you can see here is a properly first one is 0, and then lastly this condition is 1. Okay, so I will be clear understanding in this relational operator. So the third topic for the logical operators. Okay, so here the logical operators work with the len values true or false, and then our decision making in these programs. Okay, the today first of all here is removed in this code, and all here using the inchi type p is equal to 1. The variables q is equal to 0, and next using this section first using this output statement printed, and this inside generating like pickup operator for this q. Okay, so and then type for the module G defined the new line, and define the new line and generated it for pn operator like this QE. Okay, so here is using correctly, and I will just step this code and click on this one icon, and just see here you can see this is a p and q is a 0. It's the logical operators. Okay, so the next one you can see here copying this line of code and then paste for the next step. So first using this an operator, next use for the or operator. Okay, so again using, and the third using the not operators. Okay, so first using this not, and here use the not operator. Okay, so you can see here is correctly. Okay, so you can see here is all this the 3 expressions. So first of all in this end operators return on only if both conditions are true, and here in this or is returned on if at last and condition is true. Here you can see the note is reversed. The boolean values one becomes 0 and vice versa. Okay, the 2D is saving the code is correctly, and click on this one icon and just see here the put first expressions. 0 second the word is 1 and then the notice is 1. So okay, hope you are understanding in this logical this operator, and the next operator for the B2Y operator. Okay, so that's today in this doc B2Y operators perform these operations at least vinyl level, manipulating bit directly. Okay, so here first including here is some binary diseases. So here post using the integer a is equal to 5 and then b is equal to 3. Okay, so here you can see the 5 means the binary D0101 and the 3 means the binary D0011. Okay, and now here is apply this printf and is inside generated for this expression say an operator of B, and then type module D and the new line, and then here is including part A and operator of B. This is the N. Okay, so now you save this code and click on this one icon, and as you can see here this condition is 1 and here is a perfectly, so you can see here in this the end state bit only if both are 1. Okay, so here is it correctly created. Okay, so you can see here is also in this line of code. Just copy and then sorry, just properly copying in this line of code and then test for the next steps. So now here using the 4 steps, so 1 2 3 and 4. So today here is using for the and the next use for a sign, and here using like the XOR. Okay, so apply this XORs and here using this X and the greater than sign, and again change place, so using this or and the XOR, and then using for the less, again here is apply this greater. Then you can see all this operator here is defined. So here this is the left shift and this is the right shift. Okay, so now just saving this code is correctly and click on here in this the run this icon, and just see here the output is properly print. The first expressions for here is the 1 and the second for the 7 and the third using for the 6, and here the and here using the left shift for the 40 and the right shift for the 0. Okay, so you can see all these expressions is properly shown in vistas comes up. So now in the setting the studio and the 2 is properly covered, the arithmetic relational logical and the BS operators in the C programming language. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay, hello coders and welcome back. Today's another new tutorial. So today we'll explore the conditional and the statement in C programming like AIC and the Swiss case. So this statement help control the flow and the execution based on the conditions. So let's break them down and this coding in these examples. So in this creating here, so here it's a statement execute a block of code only if the condition is true, and if the use to sample of examples, the first working here is checking positive numbers using the if statement. So here first of all using type of numbers and then use for the sample printed, and then insert the input, enter in number, Okay, and then here is a type 4 like the scan IT and including for like the module D and declare here. Okay, so the number. Okay, so and using here the equal statement declaring this variable number is greater than 0. Okay, so and define for the print and print the masters. So here is the type, so the number is a positive. Okay, okay, so you can see here is a generated for this. Okay, so now you can see in this example, first apply this user, enter a user, and if the number is greater than 0, and the message point, the number is positive, I is displayed show, and if the condition is false, spring, the 0 or negative number is nothing has happened. The to just verify English program, so first save and click on such as just enter a positive number for, and then here using the number is positive. So now we can try, so you can see you are using this negative number for 7. You can see here is not the show output. Okay, so I hope you're understanding and clearly it's checking perfectly this positive number. So the next topic, using here the correctly if else statement. So the if else statement execute on block of code if the condition is true, another if it's false. So now let's check if a number is even or odd. Okay, so today first here is type the same in this code and change these conditions. So now here is applied first including numbers and the module 2 is equal to 0 first, using the number is equal positive, otherwise print the else conditions on site. So apply this and other conditions, the printf, and then generated the conditions like the number is odd. Okay, so you can see here it generated this code number, so the number is okay. So okay, so at this, so you can see here post the user input number, and then this conditions it's even, otherwise it's odd if both conditions are handled using for the refills conditions. So just check again, save this code and click on. So first print here the positive number 8. Now check this again. So here using like this 3 is the print the odd number. You can see the number is odd. Okay, so I hope you clear understanding for the if else statements. And the next topic for here to switch gears. So here's the switch statement is joined. We have this multiples conditions to check. You can sync a variable. So now let's create, here is the menu based program. So today possible here it generated into a type of a choice. So at this choice, so integer the variables a is equal to 10, and then the variables b is equal to, here is apply is printed, and this inside is just for the method. So for type is the select and operations object opr. Okay, so here in this including this new line, The next using here again this print first here at this number, and number is additions. Okay, so an addition and then including for the 2 dot paste and creating the subtractions. Okay, so including the file the number of 3, and here is a type the multiplications and using and then you go line 4 and then including here the divide. Okay, so now here's properly use this one, and now here is the add the scan. So a scan and then type the D and the end operators, and just type for the variables. You can see this choice. Okay, so you can first using this select and operations for 1 2 4. Okay, and now using the switch case and generated for the choice. So and the operation switch case, so first using the switch and this set for there, and here is the okay, and then using here like printf and today first printing the first apply the results and use the module D, and also use this one for the an additional operator for the B variables, and now using here the break statement. So okay, so here's a correctly creating, and now line of code then using for the next step case of 2, case of 3, and then 4, and first using this addition next to use for the subtractions. Third using this multiplications, and fourth using this divisions. Okay, so you're using, so here is a simple update for here the divisions. Here using this the floating point value is module 0.2f, and the new line, and in this inside is generating for the quota shorts, and including for here the plot. Okay, so here is a correct, and then using for the default, so the default and so the default, and use for the another printed, and in size type for here invalid, and okay, so invalid in this choice. So here is a start is generated for a long list programs. So here is this case execute the corresponding operations and the print the results, and you can see in the default here the handle invalid choice. Okay, so today first of all here is saving this and all this code, and click on this one icon, and just see. So first one here is a paste the okay, so now change this number first using this case 1, second this case of 3 2 and 3, and the last apply that 4. Okay, so here is the properly generated, and then save. So click on this run icon, and now it's working. So first printing here select and options, so now select for the trees and press for enter, and the total result of 50. Okay, so I hope you clearly understanding in this the topic. So today just properly covered the 3 important conditional statement like if, if, and switch case. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we'll explore the loops in C programming language. Like for while And the loops help execute a block of code multiple times, making our program efficient. So to the first working here, the follow. So the for loops, when the number is iteration is known beforehand. It consists of three part initializations, condition, update statements. So now let's an example where print numbers from 1 1 to 5. And first apply the initialization int, and I is equal to 1, and apply the conditions for I is a less than 5, and then and using the increment for these I variables. And so today here, this is applied the printed, and then generated here the module G, and also define this new line. And now the variables of I. Okay, so today, the loop is the third I is equal to. So here, there, this is the I is equal to 1, and it's a run answer for I. And for the less than equal 5 in this, and the I is incremented after its iterations. Okay, then I will save this code and click on this one icon and just see here. So all this output is perfectly, and the first is 1, the output is 1 2 3 4, and 5 is a print. Okay, so I hope you understand in the follow. And the second using the, so here the while loop and is executed as long as the conditions to its useful and the number of iteration is not known in advance. And so now there is a print and every numbers of 10. So first of all, here includer is integer and the type of a number is equal to, so there's apply the while conditions. So this while loop, and first generated the number is less than equal, and then creating here the print for a. And today here I generated the module D, defined the new line. This is the number first, the number mail and plus equal operators in this of 2D. In this the loop is start with a number is equal to 2, and it runs with the conditions for number, let's then equal 10. The number is incremented by 2 in is iterations, and in this the line means is an inc incremented by 2 of to get an even numbers. Okay, so to the first saving this code and click on here this from icon and just say here I would put the even number, so 2468 and then that of 10. Okay, so here in this all this output is printed on the new line. Okay, so here another topic for the dual while loops. So here the similar the while loops, but guide at least no executions before checking the conditions. So here use example where a user must enter a positive non-number. Okay, so today here is removed in this foot first generating, and then here are using to the while loop. So the first using the do and then print it, and here save this message. So first of all type enter a positive number. Okay, then generated like scanf, and first use the module D, and including here, so the and operator, so including and the end operator of D. Okay, so and the next choose for the while loop. So you are using this while and generate this condition. So first of all, apply this number is n40, and then here using again this printf and generated for. So here like entered and use the module D, and the module D define the new line. Okay, so add this number. So today here you can see in this program, first in this program, and ask for the input at least on, and if the input is not this positive, it repeats that prompt, and here the loop ensures value input before the proceeding. Okay, so here just step this all this code is correctly and click on this one icon, and just see here, so enter a positive number and press for enter. So you can see entered of 2. So again using here is a running this code and enter for 5, and you can see here you entered 85. Okay, so I hope you clearly understanding is the properly proceeding in these conditions. So now that's it in fit in the studio student. I hope you properly explored the 3 types of loops in for loops, while loops, and do while loops with different use cases. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay, hello coders, and welcome back to today's another new tutorials. So today we learn how to control loop executions in C programming using break continue and the go to statement, and this statement help us manage program flow efficiently. So today first using here the break statement. So the break statement is used to exist in loop or which switch statement immediately when a condition is met. So let's see an example of where we search for a specific number in a list and stop. We find it. So today first using here the break to stop a low first, including interior type of thumb numbers, and using the empty square brackets, and in brackets inside including thumb positive for even numbers. Okay, so add this event number, and in using for integers of a the variable search is equal 6, and in here is using the for loop and generating these conditions. For integer is I is equal to 0, and then okay, so now just creating for initializations is equal to 0, the condition for I less than of 5, and generating for I is increment. So now here is including for the EA statements, and the first generated this numbers variables, and the I, and if equal to declare here the search. Okay, and then here using here the print if, and generated like this number. So first apply here the number, and including the module of D, and here is the type for the founded index, and again using the modules of D and define the new lines, and first the variables of search and implement of I. Okay, and then apply for here is correctly the break statement. So today here you can see in this example, so the loop search for 6 in this area, and you can find when found the break is terminate the loop immediately, saving for this unnecessary. So here the saving for this in the loop that has saving this unnecessary iterations, and now here is save this is correctly in this all this code, and click on this one icon. It just sees here. So the number 6 and the found and index of 2. See here the 0 index 004 is for 240 index, 4444 on index, and the 64 is a 2 index. Okay, so I hope you understand and the break statement, and you can see here using the another statement like the continuum. So the continuous statement is keep the current and current iterations and to move to the next, and it is useful you want to ignore the certain values. And so let's print all the numbers 1 to 10 but skip multiple of 3's. Okay, so here just remove in this code to generate and the for loop of ESR is equal to 1, then using the I less than equal to 10, and also define for the I variable is been permitted. So using the if statement first generated for I and the module of 3 is equal to 0, then apply here the correctly in this the continue. So the continue statement is a skip multiples of 3, and then here is the print and then type for s module d space and the variable of I. Okay, so you can see in this example the loop and I from 1 to 10, and if it is a simple multiple of 3 and is a continuous, keep the print statements. Okay, so today just save this code and click on this run icon, and just see here in this output statement for in this line is a key for the number of 3. Okay, so here is this only print for 1 2 4 5 7 8, and okay, so I hope you clear understanding in this continuous statements. And the next topic for the go to statements. So here the go to statement transfer control a level sections of the code, it should be used carefully to avoid confusions. So let's see an example why an user enter a negative number and prompt them again. So to generate it here in this program, so using goto for the input validations. Okay, so you can see first apply for here integer type of number, and then here is a type. You can see here this type for either retry the try. If in this try, this retry and apply is printed and generated for the user input, the enter a positive number. Okay, generated this, and then using for the scan if and apply this modules d and using the number. Okay, then here is apply the if a statement and creating this conditions number is 0 today. Here is a type, this is printed and generated like invalid input, and then type 4 here is a try again. Okay, and then using the go to is a type the retry. So here in this retry, jump back to the retry levels and using for another print A, and then type for the master. So you in the church and the module G and the new line, and declare here that number. So today you can see in this example, so if the user enter a negative number and the go to jump back to rich, try and ask again, and this ensure only valid input is accepted. So here is a try. So first save this code and click on this one icon, and here enter a positive number. So now here enter the negative number 5, and you can see here the invalid input. Try again, and now here is again. So enter the positive number of 10, and you can see here you entered is 10. Okay, so here is perfectly working for this grow statement. So here, and they are starting the studio to enter to properly cover the break continues and the grow statement in C programming languages. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So in this today's tutorial will explore the most important fundamental concept in C programming. So like functions, a function allow us to break our code into reusable and blocks, and like modular and reusable allow us to break our code into reusable blocks and making it more modular and reusable. So the first understanding here, the function in C programs, the function in C consists of function definitions, a function call and function declarations, and shown used for the function prototype. So today here using the example for functions without parameters and the return values. So here is the simplest type of uh, so this is a type for parameters and return values. So here is the simple functions, and like on the parameter on the region values and the function just print a message. So first of all here is printing the function definition. So the first apply is a void and the function name like this grid, and then using here, so first of all apply this printf, and here this type the message. So first of all apply hello, and welcome to the C programming. And so you can see okay, so you can see here generated, and then apply for the functions and call this inside, type the grade. So you can see this inside is apply the get the functions, call in this the grade functions. So today here today the function is the void return, and in this the type this, it does not carry value while it called in the main functions inside this print called hello world, and welcome to the C programming. So first is the and click, and using this you can see here now output for hello. Okay, so I hope you understanding, and the output, and using the functions with parameters no return values. So here the functions that but does not a value here, an example that calculate the sum of two numbers. Okay, so here is creating the functions definitions. So the functions name generated like the add numbers. Okay, so using the add numbers, including in that the type of variables, the type of b variables, and here use the print function first generated the sum value, and here is a type values id and the expressions for you. an additional operator of the variables. And here is creating the functionals called with hours. So first we define add numbers. So the argument is a 10 and the 20. Okay, so today in this the simple example is generated when is called the functions like add numbers if print the sum value. So just save this code and click on this one icon and just see here the total output for the 30. Okay, so I hope you're understanding this topic, and you can also use another examples for the functions with parameters and return values. So finally in these functions that accept parameter, the return value, and in this the function is calculate the score of a number and return the results. Okay, so to the first working here the function remote definitions. So you can see here is the integer type of required the variables. The since generated integer type of number. Okay, and use the return statement and the number, and again as multiplications. Okay, so here is it's correctly, and then here the main function set push including type of the resultant is equal to define the square the values of it. Is the functions calling this line and apply here this printed, and to here is the type this method so is a higher of 5, and then using the modules of the new lines, and then here is the type the results. Okay, so you can see in this example so the square text an integer and as in input that the returns and is square, and the region values is stored in the results and are printed. So just save this code and click on this one icon and just see here the output for this square of 2, and now generated for this. So it can see here this square of 8, and then again for 8, and save. So again so run this code and see the results for this square of 8. The total result 64 is printed. Okay, so I hope you have clearly understanding in this today's tutorial. So it is completely working for defining and calling the functions. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we are working for the functions arguments and the region values in the theme functions make our code modular and reasonable. So is understanding how to pass argument domain and the retail values in right for writing efficient this program. So today first of all here just explore the two type of functions. So first on these functions with arguments but no return values, and the functions with both arguments and region values. And here first of all working for the topics is the functions with arguments but no return values. So here in this function is a calculate and print this area of a rectangle based given length and width. So today first is using the functions definitions. So you can see here is a type for the void and the functions like a calculate in this area, then define. So first using the float is a length, and again using the float of a width. So now here is a generated so now here is a generated for in this float like area is equal to define the length and the multiplications for in this width. Okay, and here is just apply the print functions, and first of all using the printf, and the inside is generated the area of the rectangles. Okay, so generated this rectangle and the module point to and a new line, and define for here in this area. Okay, so you can see here using this, and now here apply this is a functions call with our governance. So first using this calculate areas, so now using the floating point value 5.5 and 3.2 is the way. Okay, so as you can see here this example post using these functions calculated area, the flat is a length and width. It takes two flat parameters, and I need calculate the area and print the results. And since it does not return the values, and the return type is a void, so here save this code and just click on this one icon and just see here the area of a rectangle for 70.6. Okay, so I hope you are clearly understanding in this the south port. So the next topic for using this the functions with and return values. So here is redefining the text, and the terms of values, and the function is calculated a square of a number, and the returns the results to the color. So first here is defining functions definitions. So you can see using the integer type. So here is removed the integer type of a square, the type of a number, and then use this inside, apply the return statement number, and the multiplication again use this number, and here the main functions inside generated integer type of result is equal to including the square the value of 7. So here this line means the functions call, and they use this printed and the generated it like the square of 7, and then type the module of d, and then module g, and define the new line, and in the 10 type for here you can see the results. Okay, so here is correctly generated this, and here post the function is a square integer type of a number, task as an integer as an argument, and calculate is a square, and the return the results using the return statement. Return values is stored in the results and printed in the main function. So now just save this code is correctly, and click on this one icon and just see here the output the square of 7, the total square value of 49. Okay, so here is in this studio total topic is completely done, and I hope you are properly understanding in the function argument is values. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today explore the recursions in C programming. It's a powerful techniques where functions will itself to solve the problem. So recursion is useful for breaking down complex problems into a smaller and the manageable arms. So first of all, here are different recursive functions, like example for the factorials calculations and the reserve a number. So the posterior understanding and so repercussions. So functions is the functions that caused itself to solve a problem. So every recursive functions has two main parts. First on the basic case and the recursive case. The today here is opposed to using this example like a factorials on the number using the recursions. So first of all, here you can see this inside a post including here the recursive functions to calculate the factorials. So here using the type. So like the factorials, so factorials and this inside including for inches data type is in variables, and also define for the pages and including for inches data type is in variables, and then in, by n is equal to 0, then also including creating here is a currently and currently returning and set is base the next system here you can see adding and return the statements and factorials and including for in this and -1. Okay, so you can see in this screen here does we can see yes, and so just forward here, so just going of the numbers one including here the 5. So the next step here using the printed supplies the printed, and the here is generating including like a bacterias, the factorials and the modules, and because of its so is and then using and including here a new line, and here defined cost including the variables of n, and the second another one is a factorials, so variables, and the duty in this example was apply these conditions, and it is written for this, otherwise it written for here, and enter multiple applications is a bacterials, and here is using this return, and I'm reach for the 0 supposed to verify in this output. So you can see here save and click conditions and just verify this output. So you can see the vertical of 120. Okay, so hope you're understanding. It's a simple of examples for factor of number using this recursions. And the next topic, and for if I using this regression, so you generate the TI series in these the reproductions. So first of all, post applies, and you can see just screening here, and this is I did using the recursive functions and to find the numbers. So that remove this, and first of all apply this equal statement and return for n is 0, and also define the region and the statement like zeros, and in this line here is using the best score S1 for taking using this conditions for n is equal to 0, and then also return the speech main for 1. So in this the case of 2, so now applying this the return statements, and then using for the favor key, so just inches are named, so and okay, so add this prayers and proper way, and wine here using the type 4 and in the north 4 and -1, and using this class operators, and applied this -2, and then so using this applied in -2, and then using the -1 and generating this recur, and this case, and also this inside and is a variables, and in here is there is apply this one. So you can see using for the and the modules, because it is a simply and that high and is equal to the for the module D, and all here is a change this generate and change the variables. And in one, just using this, and in here first satellite, and for satellite this, and is a condition is 0, it's 3 times 0, and for this one otherwise is written in this conditions output. So first of all, yes, so now just save in this correctly, and in this one, and in this one you can see the output. So so this is the reverse screen, and using the regressions to find a letter towards a number, using the repercussions, using things think food is now generated. So first of all, here you can see this, I'm remove this coding. First of all, here is add the avoid, so the reverse in this, so just using this reverse numbers, and this, and this inside the generating for type the variables of each number. So using it's going here, define the if statement and creating this coding this number is 120, and here using this the return statement, and if this is the line generated for the simple base, yes, and use for again the print, and here first apply add the module D, and because in this is cal, and then numbers and the module of 10. Okay, so the next one here. Okay, so now here the next one here is a type used for and divide of, and currently and see this is a guess, and also inside going this, and first of all, so this inside green here. So first of all, defining TVA structure of prints, and in this, and so in this should be printing here is a 4321s, and okay, so now it's completely generic. So this code, and using here, and this printf printfs, and this inside is this inside, and so this is reverse numbers, and here is okay, so and then first reverse number generated, and so output statements are generated for the new to the, here is this topic, it has to apply this conditions, this numbers, and stop distraction, and print, and print in this, and print this, and the last delete the numbers, and the number is 4321s. So here's a number 4321. Okay, so here is translated functions. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Hello coders, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we'll explore the string importing concept in C programming language. Post this, and scope in this determine why variables is accessible, and the access class is defined with variables are stored, and the third for in this line is improve functions performance. So first of all, here is working and understanding this scope in the C programmings. This course in C is defined where variables can be accessed. There are two main types. First on the local scopes, and the security working here, and the global scope. And so here in this, the including as a type scope variables, and is a variables to the values, it's called the global and variables, and you are using there's a voice in this. So in this display, and also defined for this method in this type. So here, including here, it's local variables, and first I'm using this. There is in this tab output statement, and inside is type the message. So you first of all, and you can using this as a variables and modules D, and then define this. So this is type D correct place, and including the variable it says a local in our variables, and including here is it says local, and now is correctly defined. It says so now it's correctly defined. Next is including another point here is in the global, so it's the global. The 3D step is the correct place, and you can see global variables and also in this the 3D steps is correct place, and global variables, and is also type the module G and defined for. You can see it's the call the global variable. So you can see the first of all here in this is variable is accessibles for, and the local variables is only accessibles, additionals, and discipline maker inside. So now here is the main inside and you like this display this, and this line is defined. So you can see open this is a read statement. So here is try the local, and now set for the display on method inside. Suppose saving this, and the output post the printings, the local variable pipe, and the local variables of 18 type understandings. It says the code and the global variables, and the next topic for the understanding this, the 4 stories and classes that like its scope and the disabilities, and so here in this authors and these defaults for the statistics and the journals, and this and the registers. So now here in this working accessory and storage methods, so in this they're generating like this void, and this method is a counters, and using this for this the teachers, and the 2 is a 0. So and the variables is equal to zeros, and a static variables, and using this code this ink increment, and also using this here this tab this message. Okay, so this is this getting this output, and it also type, and it's called the count variables. Okay, so here is a properly using this mode and call this count variables. Okay, so here this is properly used this example. So first of all static in this account zeros, so it's applied in this counter is this in this functions, and here using this the 3 tab. So first copying in this, and this taking paste, and okay, so you can see here so properly used, and now use this, and pose correctly click on this one icons, and see here the cost, and this is count 1. So now here is in functions. Okay, so the next topic is in the inline functions does not reset, and okay, so first of all this inline functions improve performance functions all over state of the callings the functions. The compiler replace the functions and called who is body, during the so today working examples for inline functions. And okay, so first of all here it is generated. And okay, so now here okay, so now here in this first of all generated the inline. So in this post using this type this inline and integral variables, the function's name is a prior, and inside a return statement for it and multiplications for d. Okay, so using this the main functions, and first of all here it generated, so type here is equal 5 being used, the print and here type the message. So first apply square of modules is again using this module g. Okay, so first declare the first variables of a numbers, and secondly using this square variables inside declare this numbers. So today here in this inline keyword it case that suggests to replace the functions all with these definitions. So now just saving this all this code and click on this. So here you can see this, so now it's properly clearing this output. So first using quit the type of x, and here is including correct and the number using this is square. So first of all using this module is the modules and define main like, so it's correctly applied. So now just again run this code. So here just save this all this code correctly and click on this and one icon. So here in this line this, and now again it's correctly using this line here is the direct. So so now just printed of a square of 5 d7085. Okay, so this element functions is all overhead making it faster. Score in this. So I hope you clearly understanding then this topic for scores and the inline functions. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we'll explore ST manipulations in C programming and to using like key functions from the STEAM. So now first using here the later file, so including for, so you can see here apply like include, and this inside is using first the header file like steam.h. So the stream dot string stream. So use for in this library. So applying this string copy and with and a string cat for is a concatenating string. This is the string cmp is a string width and the fixed length using for the string length. So now we'll see for different example creating these functions. So knowledge will start and this curving. So C program this team characters within the new characters and another language. C does not have building objects, so instead with characters and the functions from ing int h operations. So using this copying steam into this is steam. So first of all inside generating in this copy. So first of all here the C programming So here, type the C programming, and using here the character type of destinations. So destinations. So now, it's correctly index destinations. Index inside declare the value of 15s, and now here is a live stream copies. So now you can see existing this copy, and this inside includings and destination, another one character like this source, and this inline is source, copy source into the destinations, and using here the print. If this is output a statement, and say it like this, copy streams and the modules is defined the new lines, and the new line variables destinations. Okay, so today here and distings and destinations, source is copy distings from the source to destinations, and here just copy in this, click on this, run, and now see the output for, and this copy disting for the C program and the destinations for a multiple channel for the host stream. I guess for the next stream for stream configurations. So first of all, in this continuations is using this strs get disk method. The post just using, and this inside is including for the character type variables. Okay. And the first is x index, and 1 for 20 is equal to type the message. Okay, so and then using for another character like this, and speaking is 2. Okay, so now it's using this walls, and now here is apply the system. This works apply the steam computations. So SDSCRPs and generated this inside, and so post characters, and the second one. So now let's type this again, and using for the second two, and now here is time for the concatenated stem, and so concatenated stems up here is properly typed. Okay, so concatenated is also this modules, and it's a new this inside is characters. So today here this example for in this stems, and the cat is first in the seconds, and ensure your, and this in a space store to combine this. So now just saving this code, and I found here, so you can see here output is this springs, stem and output for 1. Okay, so I hope you're understanding this. On the next topic for STEAM CDD, compare the comparisons is using, and using this method and just apply. So here is a change this, and send for another characters for sings 1, and inside is equal, and force the force is apples, and then using for another character of yes, and m is index equal to. So now apply here, send is then okay, and here is using this like the teaser type of race. So remove this questions, 7 type variables, another variables, and stem thumb here. So use this, and a string, just string here, and 1 again string of 2. So the string 2 now here, using these statements. So today of all apply, this is equal to zeros, and this trees here equals apply this printed, and this inside when the result is zero and the zero signals apply this printed and this is stack. So it's a change. Also this defines this new lines, and the next one here for the RL conditions. So you can see here in this the statements is not using the telegraphics, and supposed to using this and apply for else, and against, and the variable results is this less than or equal to less, then the zeros, and use for the print, and inside step for this 16 this now use for the print, and inside generator for this team and is smaller as d is 2. Okay, and then again then for using these conditions, and this is different chip, and 2 here, so generating this team here. So now for in this teams, and okay, so now here is correctly applied this conditions. This compares is a click on, then this compares, and 1 and 2 this equal 0 equals both are equals. So now less than is equals, then the positive values screens for INGs, and is greater than of distance 2. I can generate it. Now save this for and click on this one. I can just see here this thing 1 is smaller than of stream 2. Okay, so here I hope you understand. Okay, so the last topic and final including for here the stream length. So finally for the stream's length, using for the stream length in this method, so only this is a code is removed, and first one is here's generated characters of length, type of objects, and using a space, and then practice message, so it's a character length example. Okay, so type this is a message, and the style you can see this is the length of this message. So now this here you can see in this the string length, and is generated for in this space it's a get of length of the strings. Now using here the output statement like printed, and here, and here type the message, define the new and generate for this length. Okay, so today just using here correctly, and the stream length text regions and the length of the stream including the term naturals. Okay, so now using this ones, and just save this, and correctly and click on this, and just see here the same length of 21. So I hope you clear understanding the topic for ST manipulation system programming. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching, and happy coding. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome back to today's another new tutorial. So today we'll learn how to pass and stream to functions in a C program. So in for the C programming, and the stream are passed to functions by reference as a pointer array. This modifications is inside functions. So today post using understanding array and the stream persons in the program, we pass an array for distinct to a functions. We actually pass the address of the first line post under functions does not get a copy but a reference the original data, and any modification inside the function affect the original the pattern the duty post working here the passing and two functions. The first here is creating the functions to print an a. So first using here the void method like a print, and then using point this type of area of index, and again using type of size. Okay, so now here is including for the for loop is defined for initialized, and I equals 0 the entire for I less of size, then including for I variable is in this frame. So now we are using this is the printed, this is the output statement, and here it generated is module D and this space, and defined for is adding of index, and then now here use score again tap for the statement like this printed. So using this printed and here insert it like this the module, and this only this video line. So now here is including first white print size is thick and then any size as the parameter. So now here is the main functional size post including 5 variables numbers, and insert some number of 11. So use this 1 to 5 and use for interior type of the size is equal to define here the size of first. Here is generated these variables of the numbers and is divided for generated the size of, and here type this number of index is 0, and here is use output statement like printed and then size the type the two generated for. Okay, and in using for in this the print array, and declare first these numbers, and again declare this size. Okay, so here in this the first things this array to this functions. So first of all here you can see this inside the functions just to look through the area, and the print is 11. Okay, so now just save this code correctly and click on this one icon and just see here the output for element 1 2 3 4, and the 5 and the areas remain unchanged, stands only are only reading these values only. Okay, so I hope you understanding, and then next working here the modifying and adding inside the functions. So first including here the functions to double this element in this area. So you can see here it changed this white functions name. So now sky here is a double area. So here is all this almost this as it is there, just remove in this screen functions course, including this area of box, including this, and I space multiplications equal to in this line is a modify adding this 11, and now just is also removed in this screen functions, and today the sensors is generating for exchange the value plus using 2468 and generated for this even number, and here is this all the same. First of all here is removed this line of code post all apply, here's printed, and you can see post, so you can see here is type is a double area, and generated post in this the numbers, another one here aside. This is the passing area to modifying the values. So now use here is printed, and then type for the heading story. It generated here the modify carrier, and then here is a type the for loop defined for, integer type variables if it is equal to 0, and then using per I less than is the size. Screen including for the variable is an improvement. So now here applies a printed and then use the module dspace, and in this number index of I in this slide display the modified error. So now going here is using per achieving this printed and then inside including correctly this new line. Today in this program, first this void like in this double this earring interior. So I just modify the original erroring and it says area that a post reference changing inside this functions of the original, and now just saving this all this code and correctly here the input output for the modified for a 12 6 and the 16 and the 12. You can see this is the original array and here this is a modified array. I hope you understand, and you can see also using here the passing a is a team character a to the function. Okay, so here is the most is the simple example. So you can see here is a change. This is name of this a word name. So here apply this is a print. Okay, so apply this string strings and here generated like this a character string. So here stack this character str in this t, and now this inside is using this printf apply this printed, and here is a type this so receive, so CVI received, and a string and the module s and the new line and including for the s string. So here is it done, and also going here and remove this code post, apply the static chart of it, the variable of message and is equal to here is type like the message hello like the C program. Okay, and using here the print is string and this inside is including for like in this massive variables that means we passing is a stream to the function. So here we this code click on and you can see the output receive the stream for hello. So English stream is that they are now terminate character area and the function is a frame a stream without modifying it. Because I move you clear understanding in the today's tutorials for passing and a stream to functions. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Hello gooders and welcome back to today's another new topic. So today's in this topic for understanding pointers or their significance. So today's proper understanding in this the theories and industry proper understanding this pointer uses for this C programming. So first of all here understanding like what is the pointer. So a pointer is a variables that maintains a record and another variables memory addresses. It allow us to indirectly access and manipulate the values of the variables. It's on to the pointers are the particularly relevant in C programming because the calculate memory management, and by using this developers can dynamically allocate and reallocate memories on the fly, making their programs more. So today first of all here, so now using for declaring a pointer, so a pointer declared using the star operator. So the sample interior star pointer declaring a pointer to INR and accessing and value a pointer. So it store the values address of variables in pointer and use the address of endpoint operator. So here the simple INR is equal to and the pointer is opposed this, and is this pointer store that risk of an inch pointer So using the dereferencing operators, and it can access the values and store it at the memory addresses. Print a pointer D is a this module D, and the star is a pointer in this the. Okay, so I hope you understand this example. So the pointer and the needs understanding here the significance of pointer. The first report is FCS as a remove memory access. The pointers allow direct manipulations of memory, improving efficiency, dynamic memory allocations of functions like and malloc and molecules pointer to allocate memory like a dynamic. So functions are meant pass by reference allow functions to modify variables directly. Arrows and this team handling pointers simplify areas and this team operations. So the data structure used in this length list three graphs. It is so now understanding here the type of pointers. So here is a sum note that for in this pointer because next programming using for this company. The first one is the C programs, and there are different type of pointers that serve various purpose. Some common types include post the new pointer. This pointer do not point to add any valid mail address. They are typically used to indicate that the pointer does not currently point to anything meaningful. And any avoid pointers, so the avoid pointers and the green pointers that don't have a specific data type. They can be used to hold the addresses of variables of any type and are okay. So use avoid functions need to accept or and the retail pointers of different point. And the last one is functions pointers. So function pointers allow us to store the memory addresses of a functions and call it later. And this can be useful in situations why you want to choose a specific functions to execute this. Okay, so do this is properly understanding for in this the significance of a pointer in C program. So I hope you clearly understanding in this report, and the next tutorial is working for this particularly. So now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay. Hello coders and welcome back to today's another new tutorials. Today's in this tutorials dive into the pointer arithmetic, and arithmetic programming is an essential concept for integer memory loading and the performance. So post understanding is a pointer activity. Still C programming is a pointer store a memory address. When you add or subtract stacked values from a pointer, it moves to a new memory locations. Pointers operators including increment, decrement, additional, subtractions. The post here applied this example for accessing array LA using pointer. So first of all, here in this inside including for inches R of area index is equal to apply for some number of element 30, 40 and then 50, and using here the inches, the type of a pointer is equal in this area. In this line is a pointer to the first 11. Use here the printf and generating first is the message. So today here in this the using accessing area in this element, using in this pointer, and also define this module. So this area. So now apply here is a for loop, and first including initialized equal to 0, and then using for I less than 5. In this and then generating for I variable is increment. So now using here the screen functions is the output statement, and then type element for using model D. And again define this module, and also this is the first generated I variables, and secondly using here the multiplications and this. So apply this pointer and using this is the I variables. So you can see here is a pointer is limited, and I just use for the a pointer like this arrow is a point to the post element of adding, and pointer plus the I is a variables in these values. Using this cell is the pointer. So here I save this code and click on this one icon and just see at the output for errors using pointer 11 0 14 1 4 2 2 4 3 4 40 and the 11 4 4 4 50. Okay, so I hope you clear and understanding is a pointer activity, and the next step is working for pointer increments. And so now for here is a change these values. So here at this another 11 propose using 5 15 20 25. So using for 5, then 10, and then 15 20, and then 55 25. And so in English line means pointer to the first 11. So just going here and change this, and today is working for the pointer in increment. The cherry is in free name. Okay, so again use for this follows this inside only use the modules, and then use for so change this one and only using this all the pointer. So first apply this currently, and the next using pointer for increment. Okay, so here is a move down, next 11. So here is a C, and see the output here. So as you can see the pointer 11 14 4 5 10 15 20 and the 25, and I'm using here is a pointer like a decrement. So in this for copy, and the first for here, and a chance for here in the pointer is a decrement, and post apply here the new line. So here in this the same case one, and is removed here. First apply this decrement in this pointer, and using this pointer. So first of all here the pointer plus is move the pointer forward in this areas, and the pointer is a subtractions. The pointer is a backward in this arrow 27 this code, and click on this, and here see out for the post screen. The pointer is in premium 5 10 15 20 25, and the pointer decrement for 25 20 15 10 5 is the reverse. Okay, so another topic here is the pointer comparison in the area. So now let's generate this, and first of all here we're using for another new. So 2 4 6 8 and 10. So use the scan, and then use for store instance this pointer, and you have a like a start pointer this pattern, and again using this integer or gain pointer, using one to add, and the pass for scores in the science point in the to the last element. So here in this code is removed, and post is working. There is a pointer comfort zone in this area. So pointer com zone. So okay, the pointer comfort zone in, and in this hiring. Okay, and here is using for the wildest conditions and creating this condition for this post and apply this is a third and is less the this method one and applies for this output state printed and then tag is module this space and pull the pointer of church. So start and so here is a start. I'm now just using the start for in this agreement in this line is move for forward. Okay, the using for the king for the start area. And it's going to the first element and the aim for the last elements and in this loop in this until the pointers meet, ensuring they exist and here is the comparison pointer is in area 2 4 16 8 and 10. Okay, so it will be clear understanding in this topic for pointer and so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay, hello coders and welcome back to today's another new tutorials on the explore dynamic memory allocation and C programming pro-cell concept for handling memory cell our the four key functions malcore allocations memories dynamically and the catalog for allocate and initialize a memory and the real for real size dining GLY allocated memory and the last one is a free. This really is allocated memory, so now this will also go for the for practical example. The first understanding why dynamic memory is allocations programming when declare I'm adding like this stream adding integer the main is allocated at compile time and cannot be changed later for the dynamic memory allocations. However, allocate memory at runtime is only the memory. We need an adjust memory the size dynamics. So questionnaire is using this for these functions for malloc relics and use these practical examples post usings and here is a malloc for dynamic memory allocations. So here add this another page file post type this including and this inside is generated for TD this library is h and posting this inside so you can see here using this the chain type of pointer and then apply for allocate memory for fiber so ptr 2 is defined into that as type for pointer and then using here the malloc of 5 integer and declare the size of this inside including this integer variables and use for the if statement pointer is equal and using here supply the printer and this inside the type the message so this is a memory allocation this is the page. Okay, so add here is the newest slide and just using the return statement for one. Okay, so you can see here just add correctly and then use working for assigned values and then print them. So today here using another here the follow initialized I equals 0 then I list 10 of 5 and then including for the I variables is improved. So now using the pointer index of I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, then apply for here is print functions. This is the output statement and the module G and declare this pointer of index I. Okay, so here in this code is almost is done and then going forward here using the cream, sorry, is just using this. So first of all here, okay, so now using this free, this inside is generated in this point, that size is free, that allocated memory. First of all, you can see this malloc pipe alloc multiplications is 5 pointer size of is integer allocated memory for fiber, and here using this pointer I and plus 1 is assigned value and integer previous pointer released memory after use. So here in this code is correctly step and speed output. So here as I can output for 1 2 3 4 and 5. So I hope you create understanding and the properly using this malloc for in this the allocated memory. Okay, so the next topic we are using here the allo for memory locations, and in this inside its code is a comparison with malloc. Okay, so first of all here using for integer in changing this mal, and we are using this color size of the some teaser and the L indications for staying the code, and also changing here is the print values initialized to 0. So here in this conditions is removed and only using this is a printed point, this one. So here in this one this malloc is catalog for 5 and the size of, so you can see here is remove this multiplications and apply the comma. So here in this is a case initialized memory for 5 is integer, and unlike this malloc and cal initialized memory to 0. So save this code and click on here, says I can see here all this was 0. So I hope your understanding is working for this fellow for memory allocations. And the third topic for is a real law. So here is a real access memory block expansions. So this one, so post of all just using here, and again generated here it's all about malloc and use for the 3 pointer this, and the inside is filled tight, the one stain and chain for here. So the apply is assigned and these values, and second I think we are using I cycles generate for here, and your single for here is in this 3 and generated this pointer index of I equal I plus the variables of 1. Okay, and here is also generated for the relocate to 5 integer, this pointer integer, and defined for the real log, and equal for the real log, and achiever is a pointer, and the 5 multiplications, this is a size of, this side is an interior. Okay, so now here, and then apply for as an exist using for is the if statement. So first using this pointer is equal to this using now, and here is the curly brackets, and in this just port, and okay, so now again again here the for loops, and okay, so follow this frame integer I is equal to 0, then using for I, and for I in this. So now here the printf, and then like the modules of, and define the pointer. So here in this example in using, so this integers and expanded memory and the existing MA remain this. So here in this, the score is 7. Click on this. And now before, so in this score report generated in 7, click on this run, and here is using the simple this arrow. So now just including here is correctly. So generated is removed, that it can save. So now, and here is properly working. So this is the properly one for the allocated memory for 1230 and 1413 plus. Okay, so I hope you're understanding in this real list called the dynamic memory allocations, and the last topic for the 3. So now using here in this free memories with the free functions, and in this code is creating for memory release, and here is just going here and apply the, and then use for the size of, and then now is a pointer generated for. So I can see in this code is a review first using this for loops, and then initialized is a 40, and then initialize is equal to 0, and the conditions for is, and now they're using for the pointer. So I, and then parenthesis inside generated, and m plus operators, and one, and using this multiple multiplications, the values, the value of data. Okay, so now using here the print, and the inside is generated is modules d and space, and apply this pointer of index I. Okay, so you are using this correctly, and this inline is really this memory, and apply this pointer is equal to the null that. Okay, so today here you can see this 3, the pointer green is allocated memory, and the pointer null is proven, dangling this point or accessing previous memory. The 2 here using is the correctly industry with dynamic memory allocated, and I'll just save in this all this code and click on this icon, and the senior output 14, 20, 30, and the 40s, and so now in this completely done in this topic for dynamic memory allocation since programming. Okay, so now just thanks for your watching and happy coding. Okay.